Oh, look, it's Star Horses.
Hello, my name's Chris. This is a Doctor Who video where we talk about all the episodes of Doctor Who that we're watching in order. We've started from the very, very beginning, and we've watched every episode that's available to watch. This one, we are talking about The Husbands of River Song. My name's Chris.
Just you talking.
My name's NotChris. And, like I said, today we're talking about The Husbands of River Song. So, Lucy, tell me what this one's about. Okay, so, obviously, in the last series, Clara's gone. She's toddled off with me. Not literally me, because I haven't got time for that. She's gallivanting on her final heartbeat or whatever with me. And I'm pretty sure Christopher can confirm this in a second, because he is here, that we don't see her again. Or me. So there's no payoff, so that's really shit. But anyway, is that correct, Christopher? Yes, it is. That is correct. Yeah, so the Doctor is...
I just want to say, you've never said, like, God, TV presented, I bet it's easy. But you've just proved it isn't.
I've never said it's easy.
You didn't explain what was happening.
Yeah, I did.
No, in the video.
Yeah, I did.
The reason why this strange creature, all the strange creatures, was doing the video is because I was putting the milk in the brews.
I explained that we're doing a series on watching Doctor Who from the beginning.
Right.
Today we're talking about the Husbands of River Song.
Yeah.
And I said that now that Clara's gone, because in the last episode, I'm just repeating what I've already said.
Okay, so they've already watched Husbands of River Song if they're watching this. We always presume that they've watched it. So
it's a Christmas special.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through all the plot, but it's obviously got River in it. Why are you laughing?
I'm such a bitch.
Why did you leave me with that responsibility and not let me embrace my true self?
You wanted a brew.
Well, now you're here, I'm not going to talk now. See ya.
Had you seen this before? We watched it. Literally, here's the thing. This is a rare occasion. We watched this. It finished.
Christmas.
No.
Christmas.
Today is the 25th of April, 2023. We finished it about half an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's very rare that we record the video immediately afterwards. But actually, I think we used to do that with the classic series reviews because, like, we'd watch the last story of the series and then we'd record our little roundup. But this is, a rare one. And it's quite simply because you'd never seen this one before.
No.
I'd seen it on broadcast in 2015. And we really wanted to talk about it while we were buzzing because, we really like this one.
Really like
this one. I remember being fond of it when it went out and be like, I was a bit disenfranchised with the show at that point. But this one stuck with me in terms of, I think I liked that one. And there was one scene in particular I really liked and was anticipating getting to again, which was the penny drop moment for River. But I love the basic premise of this. The basic premise being, what if she doesn't recognise him?
I can't remember exactly. Oh, why is he there? Is that ever explained?
I can't remember now. I think there might have been a throwaway line that, like, she'd sort of done something that meant that he came this way because she was going to use the TARDIS.
Oh.
I love that she refers to him as, his codename is Damsel.
Because she'd know that would really piss him off.
Yeah.
What a healthy relationship.
But what a great idea of, right, what have we not done with River Song? Oh, I know. We've never had it go the other way round. We've never had it be where she doesn't know it's him. I mean, obviously, we did it in Let's Kill Hitler in terms of... But in that, it was her knowing it was him and then going into assassin mode. But they didn't know each other. Whereas here, it's like... We see at one point with her... What's her other husband called? She has 3 in this, hence why it's called The Husbands of River Song.
Antoine.
Is that his name? Or are you just not looking at the cast list?
You asked me to do that and I forgot.
Yeah.
Open your eyes, it's Saviour's Day.
Oh god, you're singing Christmas carols.
Don't look your
What? What was that?
I don't know.
But I love the fact, she's got a little photo stash to recognise that, and it's not implying she spent time with any of them, because obviously with 10... Big Finish isn't canon, folks. It's only canon if you want it to be. When she meets 10, she says, like, your eyes, you're so young. What?
This year, this episode will be 8 years old.
Yes.
Where is life going?
Like, when she meets 10, she's like, your eyes, they're so young. Like, it's the youngest I've ever seen you.
Ramon.
There we go. Who's he played by?
Or Alphonse.
Wait.
No, it's Ramon.
Yeah,
it's
Alphonse is the head maitre d'.
He is, yeah, sorry. Philip Rise.
Peckham Rye.
Right.
Yeah, like, so she's managed to source images, including the War Doctor, which is quite impressive. Not sure how they got that photograph,
Yeah.
but it's just a little. It's obviously a narrative device to explain to the audience we're watching on Christmas Day and we don't follow the program that this is someone who knows who he is, but just so happens to have not learnt of this one yet. Because of course, to her, because she mentions like, hang on, there's not meant to be another one of you. How have you done that? Because obviously, Time of the Doctor is the whole
Time
thing.
Lords
Like,
gave him an extra.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Extra life cycle, generation cycle, whatever. So it's like, okay. She has a picture of, I think she says, it's 12 faces. Obviously 13 lives with the 2 10s. But like, yeah. But I love the idea, and it gives us an excuse.
It's a very strange picture of Matt Smith.
Well, it's the fact
like from here.
It's the fact that most of the ones of the modern Doctors are
From his
screen
chin.
grabs from mid-scenes. It's
Yeah.
like, really?
Odd choice.
But it's nice to see colour photographs of Hartnell and Troughton in the mix. It's like, that's quite cool.
Oh yeah, that didn't even clock in my brain.
But it gives an excuse for some playful moments. We get to see River Song basically at full capacity. Like, River Song, when she's not around the Doctor, doing her thing. And we've seen glimpses of that. Like, the second time we saw her, like her, getting off the ship and going into the gravity tunnel into the TARDIS and the Angels two-parter. Like, that's her sort of mid-heist hallucinogenic lipstick. She's in the giant red stilettos and she pops them off just before she sucks out the gravity corridor into the TARDIS. So like she's got them over her arm and everything. Like you see the
I
Lara.
hated that bit.
No, but like you see the Lara Croft like Indiana Jones sort of vibe that she's got going on when she's not with the Doctor.
Yeah.
And this episode is like, we're going to give you nearly a full story of that because as far as she's concerned, he's not involved in this. She's just going to borrow the TARDIS. I don't hate the implication that she's nicked the TARDIS on several occasions. For
No,
her
me
own
neither.
use.
Me neither.
Because it's the fact that he plays it as like, wait, what? Like, no, he would know. She's like, we've never noticed before. It's like, that is good. I love the little bits of sci-fi sort of lore and jargon they put in here. The idea of like the TARDIS can't take off if it detects it only has one half of a living being.
I didn't really understand that, I'll be honest.
So it was refusing to take off because it was scanning, like obviously it was scanning how many passengers it had on board.
Yeah.
And the passenger amount was 2.5. It was like, well, that's not right. Because there could be someone hanging out the door. But of course it was Hydroflax's head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that.
So the TARDIS was like, I'm not going. Like, it's not safe. Like, someone's not completely in. Which is a really, I think, fun idea.
That is very interesting.
What about the Doctor's severed hand? That's not the same. It's not the same. That's a severed hand. It's not one of two living components of a body. Yeah. I think Greg Davies is totally game in this. Like he is hamming it up like crazy.
Go on.
I
was just gonna say I thought he was gonna be like a goofy character.
I mean, he is, but like
he is, but he's not trying to.
He's not playing it for comedy.
Yeah.
He's playing it. How do I best describe? It's a Brian Blessed performance.
Yeah. No,
he is completely behind what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's being completely serious. His completely serious just happens to be kind of camp and pompous.
Yeah.
But the character means everything they're saying and doing.
Yeah.
Which is where Matt Lucas kind of fails in this at first. Because Matt Lucas comes up in this as Nardole, the debut of the character.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just sort of playing it as a... I don't know, like a sketch show character. Like it doesn't fit because he's an accomplished like stage actor as well, but an improv actor.
Yeah.
But I think the thing we probably both know and admire him for is Georgie Dawes
On
from
Shooting
Stars.
Yeah.
Like, that's our kind of, oh, Matt Lucas, yeah, I like him as Georgie Dawes. Like, that's our thing.
That's the first thing I think of, because I refuse to think of Little Britain.
As you should. But he, you know, Nardole doesn't feel quite right in this. That does lend into a couple of really nice moments, though. Like, his whimper when he realises that he's brought the wrong surgeon is brilliant.
That is funny, yeah.
And the actual tragedy played up of the more, like, when he's beheaded and turned into a memory stick.
Yeah.
And he's panicking in every possible way, some of them really pathetic, like the fact that he's scared of heights. And because he's suddenly 10 feet tall and it's freaking him out. And it's like, it's so, I think it's rightly pitched in those scenes because it's sort of sad. It's like, oh no. It's like it's like a cartoon character has just been decapitated.
Whoa.
And is still somehow alive. Like, it's like, this is really morbid. Same with Ramon, like the way that's played is really upsetting.
Yeah.
Like the way the body is sort of forcing him to play hostage and stuff. Like, you know. It's morbid. Like, this is some great morbid idea. The idea of Hydroflax being a cyborg and the body is as important as the head.
Yeah.
So the body eventually is like, well, I'll just find a better head. I'm Hydroflax. Like, I am as much Hydroflax as the head is, so I'll just find a new head. And the idea of the Doctor's head being used as a bargaining chip.
Like, could you imagine?
Yeah, but like that's a fun idea as well. Like,
I mean, that suit robot cyborg could have always.
Well, the Mission 2110 costume / the Mitchell and Webb security drone things from Dinosaurs and Spaceship. It's the same costume with different pieces on it, essentially. I think they first showed up.
Observant.
They first showed up in a CBBC show called Mission 2110 in 2010 when I first started working there.
Yeah. Wait, you worked at CBBC?
Yeah. And they were great. It was like, oh my god, these costumes are incredible. And then Mission
Just
21...
like, you know, we've been together 16 years, so I do know that was a joke.
Mission 2110 wasn't recommissioned, but then those costumes got reused in Sarah Jane Adventures, The Empty Planet, the one where everyone's zapped off the Earth and it's just Rani and Clyde, and they're like, what the hell's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Those robots are in it, but they're sort of painted like bright yellow and bright red. They were retooled and used for Dinosaurs on a Spaceship as the Mitchell and Webb security bots.
Which is what I can remember from. I can't remember it from Sarah Jane.
And one of them has been massively upgraded. Oh, actually, no, I think the Sarah Jane ones were smaller, but they were also from Mission 2110. But then this is, like, it's been massively upgraded here to have, like, big, you know, articulated animatronic fingers and everything.
Yeah.
And the sort of rock-like spikes climbing out of the shoulder armour. And it's a great design. It looks really good. And I think it's directed quite well. Like, that prop could look really cumbersome if it's not shot properly.
Well, it did look cumbersome.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it looked a bit, you know, blundery. Like it was kind of, you know, barging through small doorways and things like that. But I don't think it ever looked like it was. I don't think it ever looked like a prop. It always looked like a thing that was moving and had intent.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, I understand what you mean now.
Yeah, like it's you know, I was
going to say it doesn't look like it can move very fast. Or get very far.
No, but like, is that you perceiving it as a prop, being someone who makes things, or is that you perceiving it as a viewer? Because as a viewer, I think they shoot around it well enough that you buy. Yeah, this thing's moving. This thing's like getting from place to place.
Oh, maybe the first one.
Yeah. The problem with knowing how the sausage is made is you're always admiring how the sausage is made, and not admiring the sausage and not eating the sausage. Yeah, yeah. It's like horror films. We see horror films. We're like, oh my god, that visual effect was incredible. That looked really disgusting. It's like,
it's so funny when we go in horror houses. We're like, whoa.
Yeah, we're just fascinated by like how they pulled it off.
Cool. Ah!
Yeah, it's like secondary.
Wait.
Oh my god, I'm in the narrative.
Don't rush. I want to watch it.
That's the problem with having someone who got an A in film studies at A level and someone who has worked in television. Is we always look for those things.
Nerds.
I
love it.
I think that what are they called? Is it the sorry, can you bring up the thingy? She's got Face ID and I don't have the same face as her, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing.
Thank goodness. I don't want to look at my face every day.
I love to look at your face every day. What are they called? I want to look up the
zip kind of scapular.
Yes, that's the one.
I've got to say, that makeup I thought was really, really good.
It is good. Get used to it.
Because it does genuinely look like they have a seam down their head. Because I don't know how to describe it. It looked like there was a proper indent around the head, and I just thought that was really impressive. So props to the makeup team. That was awesome.
This is by a name Scratch. Doesn't say what his full name is. Oh, hang on, I'll scroll a bit further ahead because that'll give me a little bit. Christmas pudding, say a bit Christmas pudding. Oh, good lord!
But they were cool.
Oh no, they're not getting mentioned here either. That's really stupid. Sorry, keep stalling for a second.
I'm stalling.
Oh, screw it. Anyway.
Talking about Doctor Who.
Yeah, point. I'm not. Actually, no. Oh, I know what I'll do. Basically, Ziphead boy.
Well, no, it wasn't a zip, was it?
Gloopy-faced man.
Oh no. Yeah, the guy. Yeah.
That was it. That Harmony Shoal is their species or their sort of citizenship. Harmony Shoal. Great design. That's a very panto villain, but it kind of makes sense the way the guy plays it. Like, it's a very panto villain, very monster of the week. I mean, all of the other ones just hissing. Like, it's very monster, very panto, but that kind of works because kids and family are watching this on Christmas Day. You don't want it to be too scary on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And they are on a ship of murderers and psychopaths. So you do kind of have to like present them as not entirely terrifying because it's Christmas Day, but it's a good idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like this is where This is where genocide comes to relax.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, my god, that's terrifying. It's like they're just surrounded by murder. I mean, even the concierge dude, like
you can't even work there.
River greets him with
without.
You know, how are the children? It's like, yes, they just finished devouring their mother. Oh, it was wonderful, and you're like, okay, yeah, you can't even work there without having a history of bloodshed. She's like, oh, that's so horrid. And then it's like, why is she hung out here? And then you go, I suppose she has killed many people, but she could also fake something even bigger to get the membership. So,
true.
Yeah. Should we talk about the other strong... Should we talk about the two strongest things of this episode? Which is basically Alex Kingston and Peter Capaldi's performances.
Yes.
Oh my god, they're so good in this. Like, Moffat saved some of his best dialogue for this. Some of the lines these two have and the way they deliver them are delish.
Yeah. If you have been watching this for a while, you would know that I am not the biggest fan of Riversong. Oh, gosh. That has changed.
You definitely softened on her.
Purely because... I don't know.
Alex Kingston's performance?
Yeah, I mean...
Time and distance between you initially meeting and hating the character and now going into her stories, knowing what you don't like, so you look for what you like?
Yeah, possibly, but something that really creeped me out... Well, not creeped me out, but something that I just couldn't get past was that, I don't know, she seemed like so much older than Matt Smith. And to the point where it just seemed a little bit creepy.
That never bothered me too much, but I think that's because... Like, in terms of reality, she's only about... Oh, look how much older she is than Matt Smith. But...
I know it won't be massively
to me, it was more the fact that, when you think about it, it didn't bother me because the Doctor was like 900, 1,000 years older than River wasn't. Although in this we learn that she's, Black Widow, Nick Fury in the comics style has done tweaks upon herself over the years that have kept her living longer, and she's been living for about 200 years at this point. Which makes sense. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't she do that? She'd absolutely find a way to do that. It means more chances to bump into her beau. So
I know that obviously they had a connection, her and Matt Smith, because obviously that was how the story was written, but I don't know, it didn't feel like a romantic or even sexy connection to me. I don't know why. I really don't know why. I
think part of that's down to the 11th Doctor though as well. Like he's not a sexual being.
He's too childlikey. Yeah.
He's not a sexual being.
I think maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying at all that like older ladies shouldn't be young men.
I was going to say, yeah, so when he was playing the role, he was like 29, 28, 29. She would have been 48.
Okay.
Yeah, so 20 years between them.
Not that there's an issue with that, but
no. I know what you mean.
To me, I just couldn't make that connection.
And the fact that he was basically a sort of
a kid.
giraffe toddler kind of felt a bit weird. Yeah,
I never made the connection of them being together. That just seemed weird to me. But with her and Capaldi, their
is
chemistry
a lovely
is
chemistry here.
So good.
And I think she and Smith's chemistry is amazing. But I know what you mean. It can take you out of it a tiny bit, considering the type of Doctor he is. And same with this one. Like his behaviour doesn't change in this to suddenly fit in with her. He is not remotely like sexual with her at all.
No.
I mean, even at the end when she changes the outfit at the Singing Towers, and he says to her, like, "Have you changed or whatever?" She's like, "Of course I have." And he goes, "Oh yeah, I like the thing you've done with your hair." She goes, "Nice try." And she says something like, "Thank you for trying."
Yeah.
And it's like, so
it's sweet of you to try.
Sweet of you to try, yeah. But like, there's also that lovely little spark in that very last shot between them where they are implying that, like, basically what awaits them now is the most romantic 24 years of either character's life. Like, they are spending the next 24 years with each other, and they are going to make every second count.
I never thought I'd say this, but I kind of want to know what happens. I want to know what they do.
I get you. Same time.
I mean, I know what.
Same time. It's between them.
Exactly.
And I kind of like that.
I want to know, but I like that we don't know.
I also like she doesn't know necessarily that it's their last time together, but she's kind of figured it out. Or at least she's figured out this is the last time they're going to see each other this way.
Yeah. Because
of course the very next time. Because that's the other thing I'll bring up. Actually, dang, it's there on your thing, isn't it? I'll bring up the quote. There we go. I'm always like, where are the buttons? That it just shows up after a few seconds. It's like, okay. Yeah, it's highlighted here. The references. Details of the Doctor's last encounter with the river at the Singing Towers of Darillium were originally mentioned in the Forest of the Dead and are shown here. The Doctor says he had just had a haircut and is wearing his best suit. Back in that story, she said, "You turned up on my doorstep with a new haircut and a suit." As the towers sing, the Doctor sheds a tear. The towers sang and you cried. And he refuses to tell that this is their final night together before her death. "You wouldn't tell me why, but I suppose you knew it was my time." Now, this has already been something Stephen Moffat has played with and alluded to in the short, I can't remember which one it is now, but one of the ones we talked about, where there are 2 11th Doctors and 2 River songs. And, like, one of them's actually going to the towers or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They basically what happens is they're on a date, they step into the wrong TARDIS, and the 2 of them are in there, they're like, and they kind of have this little moment. And she mentions he's taking me to the Singing Towers, and the 2 Doctors kind of look at each other, and it's this whole thing of, like, the younger one looks at the one who's on the date and sort of gives him this look of like, you know, are you okay? Mm. And it's beautifully done. Obviously that you'd say, oh, that's not canon, but they do mention it here. They make a thing of, like, you always kept putting it off. There was that time with 2 of you, and obviously if you don't know that DVD extra, it's just all right, you've been putting it out, you don't think of it, but it's like, oh, all right, fair on you, good on you made it canon. Do you know what I mean? Good on you, you made it canon. It counts. Oh God, there's moments in this a lot. Capaldi getting to play the Doctor's first ever "It's Bigger on the Inside."
That was very funny.
It gets a bit drowned out by Maury Gold's score. I really want the editors to remember that more is not better. Turn the volume down. But it's so well played. And then him being completely derailed by seeing her find, like, the whiskey stash.
Yeah, that was funny.
Which is like, what the hell?
That was very funny.
You know, don't tell Dad, like the little tap on the nose and stuff. So that's funny. The idea that there is apparently a 7th deck on the TARDIS full of waste.
Gross.
Like what? Like bodily waste from the bathrooms? It's like, oh God.
Don't even want to go there.
His continuous, like, frustration that she is not putting 2 and 2 together.
Mm. But that moment where she realises
is one of my favourite scenes in the show.
His face, I can't. His face.
It's one of my favourite scenes in the show, and I can say that
it's played so well.
I can say that comfortably now because I remember that's the scene I remember so strongly from initially watching this, and that I remember that line as well where she says, like, you know, you admire a sunrise. Or is it you look upon a sunrise, you don't expect it to admire you back.
Yeah,
like you realise she has basically convinced herself over these years, knowing where she is chronologically. She has convinced herself over these years because of how rare it is that they bump into one another. versus the fact she knows that she is only ever going to be a split second in the entirety of his existence. She's convinced herself that he couldn't possibly love her back the way she loves him, because it's not possible. And that's the thing at the end. He doesn't deny that when they bring that up on the towers, but he makes it quite clear that he loves her. Like, he understands that, yes, this is so brief in my lifespan, but that's just the nature of how it is.
Yeah.
And we know from other stories that's why he doesn't like to hang out with everyone like
till the end.
Because he doesn't want to watch his friends die,
exactly,
and you know. So he's not saying like, oh, of course, like I love you exactly the same. It's like, he's a being that lives for thousands of years. His emotions and everything are going to be incredibly different. The way he processes stuff is going to be incredibly different.
Yeah.
But it does not mean he doesn't love her.
Yeah.
And it's so sweet. And when they get to play it from that moment onwards,
and it's
as the Doctor and Rivers, obviously after he's ribbed her a little bit for like all the things she said about him, and the fact that she's had other husband, which of course doesn't faze him because they live out of sequence with each other.
Yeah.
Sod it, go marry other people, whatever, it's fine. But like, but that scene, I remembered it so fondly, and it hit, like, this was the second time I've watched it, and what happened?
You got a little wet-eyed.
I got all weepy. I got all hurty in my legs. I had a little fucking cry. I was like, what? And it's Kingston's delivery. It's Moffat's dialogue. And it's that, like you said, that just slightly out of focus, his reaction as he waits for her to realise. And the fact that the first, I think, and only "Hello, Sweetie" we get in this episode, and the only spoilers we get in this episode
aren't from her.
Are from him.
Yeah. I hate to admit it, but Moffat did good on this one.
He smashed it, knocked it out of the park.
He kind of did.
It's phenomenal. Is it like amongst the best of who? No. It's very much a specific moment. You kind of have to have had the background. The first 40 minutes is just a big fun daft Christmas romp with supervillains and a heist and the idea of a diamond being lodged in his head.
That's right.
And her insistence that she married the diamond.
Ow. I was saying this earlier, I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to Doctor Who.
You have to have had the background reading to get this
Doctor Who is for kids, and if they aren't going to process it, they're not going to be bothered. And then what's the point? I was saying that it's probably my favourite Christmas special, but
I was like, Christmas Invasion.
Invasion.
All right.
I think they stand next to each other. Christmas Invasion, you can watch.
Voyage to the Damned.
No,
but his name is Max. Ding! Like, come on, Voyage to the Damned is great.
Anyway, yeah,
Information.
I didn't say it wasn't great.
You are all going to die.
The Christmas Invasion you can watch without really having much context of Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. You might just have to.
You get the gist, like, he's just changed, has he?
Yeah, okay.
But Rose explains that to Jackie.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think they do enough of that with this.
Not really. I don't think they do. If you watch this, can I just
no, of course, yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting excited.
But if you watch this and if you're a casual viewer, okay, you might get it. But if you've never watched it before and you're watching it with your family on Christmas Day, you're just going to be like, I haven't got a clue what's going on, and it's not going to hit you emotionally like it is written to do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I meant more like the first 40 minutes being like the heist story.
No, it's still exciting.
I think it gives you enough context clues to.
It's still exciting to watch, but it's not going to hit you like it was intended to.
Whereas, especially that last 15 minutes, yes,
people are just going to be like, I've zoned out because I don't know what's going on.
But from the perspective of someone who does know what's going on,
I forgive it. I do.
And what do you think of it as an episode?
I think it's really good.
Good. Really?
It's
really good.
Really good. Do you want to hear my note?
Yes, read about before we wrap up on this one by Jiminy. By Jingo! He slips in a by Jingo! Is
that why you say it?
No, I say it because Phil, who plays Hacker the Dog, Phil used to say, by Jingo! I don't know why he says it, but then because I just kept saying it, I mentioned it in front of Ian Reddington, Chief Clown, and when we were working on that panto together, and he would always sing it back to me as, "Oh, by Jingo." And I was like, "Why do you keep singing it like that?" And he went, "It's from a Bowie song, isn't it?" And I was like, "Is it?" And I've never figured out which one. I should probably Google it.
Yeah, you can
But because of that, and knowing Capaldi's love of rock and his love of Bowie in particular, it's like,
that'll be why.
that's totally why he said it.
I say it because you say it.
Yeah.
And then when we heard it, it was like, what?
By Jingo, I've been bisected. I always think of that as well, and Hacker's Got Tentacles.
I wrote super cute opening, the title to... No! Capaldi, no! We've only got a little bit of time left. A little bit of time.
A little bit of river tongue in my life.
Minced toes. Super cute opening. Sorry. Super cute opening with like the title sequence. It was all snowy and frosty, and the planets were baubles instead of planets.
That was cute.
That was very cute.
For a Christmas Day episode, that is a cute little detail.
I wrote, I love Capaldi. I love Greg Davies because he's just so funny.
He's great in this. He's a ton of fun.
I don't like Matt Lucas, but he's cute in this. He's like a little egg with a hat.
God damn it. I'm happy to report you will enjoy Nardole, I think, a lot more.
I can't help but think
going forwards
of Dan Sherritt.
I'm Nardole.
That's all I can hear.
I mean, that's the better Nardole.
Yeah.
But I think you will enjoy Nardole a lot more going forwards. This is the only story where I don't really like him.
Yeah.
After this, I like the character a lot.
I did particularly like River in this episode. The quote, "You're thinking, stop it, you're a man, it looks weird," was very funny.
Yes, that was good.
I wrote afterwards.
See, Moffat can sort of like do little sort of inoffensive sexist comedy jibes that work quite nicely.
Time, and it's great. Keep going.
Or stop here.
I wrote, "Damn it, River is good."
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, there's kissing. I've got a thing about kissing. It grosses me out. I don't know why. Because I do partake in kissing, but I don't know.
I do partake in kissing.
Just watching it, just the sound, just really just.
There's a lot of fans that don't like the fact these two don't get a smooch. Think about it.
That, though.
Capaldi, outside of Missy in Series 8, in that random moment, never gets a snog. He's the first modern Doctor who doesn't get a snog.
It's like what we just talked about. I want to see it, but I'm glad that we don't.
He doesn't get a snog, but he gets 24 years of bonking by the Singing Towers.
Does.
So
anyway, the Doctor's reaction to the TARDIS, very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just stick my head around the corner.
Which they don't pay off, because then the twist is that he's negotiated his freedom, but it's like, I'll just stick my head round and see what it is. Yeah. It's like, he's going to lose his head! That's brilliantly done.
And I wrote, River, the Doctor's face, when he's like...
Hello, sweetie.
When she's stop it. That was a good impression. It's making me feel things. I wrote the boob catch of the diamond with a rolling eye face.
That was your one, River song moment.
It was one of those that was like, didn't need to do that.
I don't mind it.
Could have opened a bag.
Because we realised that this was one of her contingency plans.
Yeah.
She knew where to stand.
Yeah.
So she knew it was going to drop in that spot. And she just went, pop a top out, cleavage, brilliant.
It was a very River thing to do, but I just thought there was no need for it.
The fact that the Doctor kills or temporarily stuns the cybernetic body by filling it with the stock market from every planet in the nearby galaxy. He was like, that's quite funny. Or is it still like bad day at the market or whatever? And then it comes back and says, I know that wasn't a pun, but I just had to say it.
That was funny. The suit looks too big on Capaldi. That bothered me. It drowned him a little bit.
I don't mind.
But I loved River's dress. River's dress was
her 3 costumes throughout this actually are very good.
She rocked it.
Yeah.
I wrote in capitals, so I will briefly shout this. I'm shook! Why was that so good? I thought it was really good. And I said, one night lasts 24 years, crying little faces. I've decided I love Capaldi's Doctor. There officially isn't a Doctor I don't like. There are periods, like we talked about before, there are periods
There's
where
eras I'm not overly fond of.
Aren't great.
That happen within certain Doctors.
The companions are shite, some of them.
Or just like...
Turlo.
Turlo's not shy. He's not shy. He's not shy. Mark Strickson's great. Come on, he turned you around in his last story. In Planet Fire, you were like, God, he's really good.
Definitely couldn't be a kid.
Well, no, but come on. The 90s, how many sitcoms and teen drama series starred obvious 35-year-olds?
And still. But, no, he was so annoying. And what was the other guy called?
Adric,
get out.
leave.
Even the doctor didn't mourn you.
He wouldn't want us to mourn unnecessarily.
Yep. Thank
You
God
mean
he's gone.
you don't want us to be sad? Nope. Now let's go faff around with Concord
Let's go.
under a racist disguise.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I genuinely don't like. I know I like Jodie Whittaker. I don't like her companions, but
Yeah, like I mean,
Graham.
we'll get to it obviously when we get to it. I'm not now it's over. I'm not a particularly big fan of the 13th Doctor's era. But like with the 5th Doctor and the 12th Doctor, who I kind of feel the same about overall, there are stories where I'm like, God, that's good. And stories where the actor gets to absolutely rock. That I don't think anyone's ever been a bad Doctor.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, the stories weren't necessarily strong, but the actor that played them,
like for every time
strong.
flight, there's a Caves of Androzani.
Yeah.
Where you go
so
like, oh,
I'm
God,
not.
he's so good.
I'm absolutely not saying that I love every story. That's not at all what I'm saying. The Doctors have been fantastic, and I, unfortunately, because I wasn't enjoying the series, the previous one we just watched, I kind of assumed that I didn't like the Doctor.
Clara was your big off-put at the time.
Yeah.
You tuned out. Was it, as we talked about in earlier episodes recently, like Series 8 was the last one where you watched most of it go out. The first Capaldi series.
Yeah.
And even then you didn't finish it.
No, because I just had completely lost interest, but I'm happy that there isn't a Doctor that I don't think.
Well, I'm happy that you're happy.
Thank you. And also, I love Peter Capaldi just because he's just amazing. And
I'm talking about Husband's River Song here, not Series 9 as a whole. From pure class.
We can't finish this video. We have to keep going because
the battery's about to run out.
No,
let us know.
If we do, I have to watch Class and I
let
don't
us
want
know.
to.
Let us know down in the comments what you think of the Husbands of River Song. We will see you next time for our final retrospective video, where this time we will be talking about, and unfortunately for this one, having to watch 2016's Class.
No!
We'll see you next time.
It's so sexy.
It's so right now. It's so right now. It's practically tomorrow.